All right, everybody, that's quite enough. I know that music drives some of you crazy. Unhappy Wednesday, everybody. Coming to you live once again from our humble abode here in Fairfield Township, Ohio. This is the Unhappy Gilmore Show, powered by Green Legion Radio and part of the Green Legion Radio family. We thank you, as always, for joining us once again from wherever you may be and whatever service you're using to tune in. So please pull up a chair, turn up the volume, use the company dime, be safe if you're on the road, and crack open a cold one if you've got the opportunity. Let's have some fun as we put an end to, well, I guess would be day 2 of this week's hostage situation and look forward to tomorrow being Friday Eve. Lou Mancini in the room already. What's up, buddy? How are you? We are going to welcome my son back in here in just a little while to give us a little NBA Finals talk. I was hoping to save some time for our first kind of pulse of the baseball season. Don't know if we're going to get to that. We'll just have to wait and see. But we are going to try to have some fun here as always and try to entertain you. So, as normal, business first, right? If you're tuning in on Facebook or Twitter, please do not forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe to the Green Legion. If those services are where you're comfortable, we totally understand. But the YouTube channel is the best way to view, listen, and comment on any Green Legion radio show coming through StreamYard. So please do us a solid, even if you're not using YouTube. Go ahead on over to YouTube, search the Green Legion, hit subscribe, get your little bell there for the notifications, and don't forget to share that everywhere. If you cannot catch our shows live, you can always watch or listen later on any of these services, but also on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. Bud Light Baseball Brunch every weekend. Folks, do not forget, especially those of you in the Philadelphia area or those of you who are strictly Philadelphia fans, anywhere you may be listening. Bud Light Baseball Brunch with Greg Murphy and Chris Sack, the absolute best Phillies talk that you will find. They are on for an hour every weekend. Usually on Sundays. Sometimes they have to shift it around to to accommodate schedules, but those two are fantastic. They do ticket giveaways. It's always a fun show. They are live on 1025 Fox Sports there in Philly, so there's not the level of interaction that you get with the podcast when you are gracious enough to give me your time on Wednesday nights. But certainly a lot of fun. There's always kind of a random question as to, best action movie, best horror movie, best 80s flick, as kind of a contest whenever they're doing a ticket giveaway. So you want to get in there, again, use YouTube if you can, and get your comments up to get your entry in for that. Always a lot of fun with those two. Great guys. Very, very, very informative and a fun listen. Russapalooza. We got Russ Taylor in the room yet? I have not seen Russ yet. Russapalooza. If you're friends with him over on social media, please make sure you reach out to him about getting the getting involved in the kind of the fundraiser thing that he's doing, collecting Hot Wheels cars for Pediatric Hospital. We donated here. I know our friends Ashley and Lou down in Miami. I saw Super Sam, and just a whole list of characters have gone ahead and donated. Great cause. Very, very happy to see that sort of thing going on. It stinks that it has to be a thing, but at least there's good people like Russ out there who are trying to make a difference and bring some smiles to some kids' faces. What else do we got here? The Green Legion Invasions, folks. It's up. It's out there. Everything's out there. I don't know if you're paying attention, but I tried to warn, and I know, look, for Keenan and Lou and Russ and all of our, our Green Legion faithful, you guys are aware that those will sell out very fast. For some of you, especially talking specifically to, well, not specifically, but in large part to the group that we have here in Ohio here for our Midwest Eagles Nest. I've been trying to talk to you guys about, getting on board with that as soon as possible because they will sell out. Well, Tampa Bay is about full. I don't know if there was anything left at the Winter the Dolphin Hotel, but I'm pretty sure all the other rooms were booked. And I would imagine from there, if it hasn't already, I have not looked myself. I probably should have before I came on here and started babbling about it. But I would imagine the game day packages are going to fill up very fast if they have not already. Yeah, that's Tampa. So if you get, if you can't get on the trip with the Green Legion for the full trip, see if there's any of those game day packages available. That's tailgate, ticket and tailgate. I think they actually have something now. We're actually advertising for the pep rally as well. So get on, thegreenlegion.com and get yourself signed up. Get yourself down to Tampa and join us. Pre-game show will be live from the tailgate, which is at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. Yours truly will be as committed to jump on there and be part of that. It's always a great time. But not just Tampa, right? So Kansas City is the Monday before Thanksgiving. Those of you that are maybe empty nesters that are looking for a fun trip, Kansas City could be something fun for you. Get that Super Bowl rematch. You might have that whole week off with Thanksgiving coming up. Head on out there, join the Green Legion. Los Angeles, going to be a big trip. Looks like a very bougie type of trip. That was the one my wife and I really wanted to get on, but unfortunately it just didn't work out. We ended up shifting to Tampa instead. But get on one of these trips as soon as you can, or I promise you they will sell out. And don't say we didn't tell you so. Okay. So if you got something you're interested in, get in there now. My friends Kevin and Marissa here, unfortunately, they couldn't join us in Tampa. They wanted to, but they just couldn't pull the trigger. Right now with some other things they've got planned. So, I finally had to kind of nudge them a little bit, like, dude, we're going to have to get an answer now because they're pretty much full. And sure enough, we're filled up. So, what else? David Conant in the room. Why don't you ever talk about Niners events? So I got an event for the Niners. It's happening early in December when you head out into Philly and we kick your freaking ass again. So there's an event for you. You're welcome to come join us at the back porch for that one if you want to, bud. Anyways, so there you go, guys. I know some of us have been kind of razzing Lou Mancini about getting on that Tampa trip. Lou, I don't know if you did or if you didn't, but I hope you did. If not, then we'll just we'll stick to the plan of us coming to Philly and trying to hook up for cheese sticks. And speaking of which, the unhappy Gilmore Brigade will invade Philadelphia in, where is it here? 42 days, 16 hours, 48 minutes, and 54, 53, 52, 51 seconds. So we are 6 weeks away. It is definitely time to start. And for my wife and I, we of course it has to start with us getting set up for where we're gonna try to look to have dinner and lunch and all that stuff for while we're in town. We'll figure that out, and then I will get that out there to all of you to so in case you're around and you've got the availability, come on up, have a few laughs, have a few cheesesteaks, give my son some noogies. I'm looking at my son now. He's waiting backstage. His hair is equally ridiculous as it was last week. Don't know what the hell he's doing with that. But let's hop over to the room here for just a minute before we get into our boner of the week talk. Lou Mancini in the room. Keenan Harmon says Green Legion rocks. My man. Who else do we got in here? Jim Rakovitz. They don't know much about movies. Talking about baseball brunch. Yeah, I was a little disappointed in the winner this past week. I thought Die Hard was an easy choice over the what one? The Dark Knight. And don't get me wrong, Dark Knight's a great movie, but over Die Hard? Come on. Anyways, David Conant, we already talked about in the room. Why don't you ever talk about them? That was my way of telling you I made it on today. So you haven't seen much of Dave lately. He's been very, very busy with work. He's got some personal goals he's trying to achieve for himself over the next 12 months. And he's got his, he's putting his best foot forward to try to make that happen. So we appreciate whatever time anyone can give us, especially when they're busy like that. Captain Demp's in the room. Good day, sir. Good day to you, sir. Great to see you, bud. And Califoot, it just wouldn't be a week. Yankees suck. I'm going to be a father again. Hey, everybody. How about a big Green Legion Radio congratulations to Mr. Califoot that he is going to be a father again. Congratulations. Please do not put Boston stuff on that kid. That's child abuse, and that should just not be allowed. All right? Especially over these last couple of weeks where South Florida has owned the entire city of Boston. And by the way, that's likely to continue come football season when the Patriots get bent over by the Dolphins. Anyways, Dave, congratulations, bud. Very happy for you. That's always a great thing. So even though I know you're going to raise them to be Red Sox fans, what can we do? And there it is. Little Red Sox fan in the making, of course. All right. So then in a couple of years, I get you and your kid coming on here telling me the Yankees suck. Right? Is that how that's going to work? Congratulations, though, man. That is absolutely awesome. All right. So, boner of the week. You could have gone a couple different directions. And, oh, yes, it is going to be around the Celtics. Really, we could do just the city of Boston entirely. But I can tell you all that I was fully prepared, despite my respect for Ashley and Lou and a couple other friends that I have that are Heat fans. I was fully prepared to come on here tonight and rip the Miami Heat to shreds because it really, really, really looked like they were going to blow that series, right? And for me, and Califoot, you'll enjoy this. You will, for me, having to deal with yet another Boston franchise with another comeback from down 3-0, I don't know. I don't even know if I could have done the show this week if that had happened, right? I would have been like somewhere in the corner, like just, flicking the light on and all, or with a flashlight, just that would have driven me right up a wall. Thankfully, that didn't happen. But I mean, look at the way that series was going. Heat up 3-0, looking unstable. They rolled through the Knicks. Not that surprised anyone or should surprise anyone. So they lose to, who was it? Atlanta in the play-in, right? Then they have to win. They get in. They face the Bucks as the 8 seed. They beat the Bucks in a gentleman's sweep. Then they go and dispatch the Knicks, look, and I know, Grady, you're going to hate this, and you're welcome to comment on it when we get there. Beating the Knicks in the playoffs at this point, it's like clubbing baby seals. Yeah, I just don't. Is there really a challenge there? Is this really a thing? Like, I get it. The Knicks were the 4 seed. The Heat were not supposed to win the series. I totally understand. And you should see him freaking out in the backstage. If you could see this, you'd crack up. But truthfully, who can't beat the Knicks in the playoffs is really the question, right? So, I wasn't surprised. Thibodeau got completely outcoached by Spoelstra. Not that that's a huge insult. Spoelstra may very well be the best coach in the league. But it was a joke. So then they go on and they're going to face Boston. They get up 3-0 in impressive fashion. And then here come the Celtics, right? And you get Jaylen Brown out there. Don't let us get one. All right, so they take game 4, whatever. My concern was when they lost game 5, which, eerily enough, was also where I felt the 04 Yankees lost that ALCS, was when they lost game 5. Game 4, I was like, that sucked. But when they lost game 5, the pitching matchups weren't there. And so I'm looking at what was coming next in game 6 and 7. I'm like, I'm telling my buddies, guys, if we don't take game 5, there's a real possibility we're going to lose this series. Fuck you. You're nobody going to come back from down 0-3. Guess what? Flash forward to this year's Eastern Conference Finals, and I felt kind of the same way. You let them take game 5. Now you have to win game 6 in Miami, and that's a massive amount of pressure. And lo and behold, the Heat had that one. Now, what killed them all night, they did not box out well. Boston was abusing them on the offensive glass. And look, if that 3-pointer by Smart just clangs off the iron and bounces way up in the air, game's over. And the Heat win in 6. If it bounces to the other side of the rim, the game's over and the Heat win in 6. If it rattles around, if somebody tips it, if whatever, the Heat win in 6. But instead, it went to the one spot where Boston could hurt him. And Grady and I, and when he comes on, we'll talk it again. We watched the replay of that play. It's Bam Adebayo that's out of position and way out of position. He got kind of caught. You know what? I'll save it for when Grady's on because I'd like to get his perspective on it too. But anyways, I was prepared to come on here and destroy the Heat because I didn't think they were going to win Game 7 in Boston. I just didn't, and I was wrong. Congrats to the Heat. Congrats, Lou, Ashley. Thankfully, the Heat did finish the job, and in impressive fashion too. Just a complete destruction of those bums up there in Beantown at TD Garden, which was, that's just impressive. I can't think in the NBA, if you were an opposing team in a Game 7, I can't think of a worse place to have to go on the road to play a Game 7 in the NBA than Boston. The fans are brutal. They just, the place is electric. The whole town lights up. It's a mess. Mike English in the room. My man, how we doing? Complete destruction. Absolutely. And it was glorious. I went to bed after the third quarter. It was over. Anyways. So who can we nominate as our boner of the week? Well, Jason Tatum, candidate, right? He had 11 rebounds, but he only scored 14 points on 5 of 13 shooting, 1 of 4 from the outside, right? No, I'm sorry. Any of you that want to say, oh, he was hurt, I don't want to hear it. The guy played nearly 42 minutes in that game. 41 minutes and 36 seconds to be exact. You don't get to use I'm hurt as an excuse when you can be out there for that many minutes. I'm sorry. If being hurt, if you're actually hurt and you're playing that poorly because you're hurt, then you have to sit down. Right? And someone else needs to come out there with fresh legs again. So I just don't think that was as big a factor as everybody's giving. I think the Heat just played a great game and the Celtics choked. But Jaylen Brown was worse, way worse. After that huge, what was it, game? I think he had a big Game 5 and a solid Game 6, and he started out Game 7 really, really well, and then the wheels came off the bus. He goes for just 19 points on 8 of 23 shooting, 1 of 9 from 3, with 5 personal fouls and 8 turnovers. That's pathetic. That's absolutely disgusting. Califoot, Judge sucks. No, he doesn't suck. Check your phone. I don't know. What's up? Russ Taylor says, check my phone. New shirt. I got to get me one of those. Nice. Sorry. That was definitely worth breaking up my my boner of the week stuff. It says sick and tired of these hoes. Right? There it is. Y'all see that? The glare off my window. Sick and tired of these hoes. But so yeah, Jaylen Brown is terrible. Jason Tatum was terrible. But how about we just call it the Celtics in general? How about that? Right? Can we just give it to just the Celtics? Right? Just because I want to, just because I hate every sports team that comes out of Boston. Can we just give it to the Celtics for laying that big, huge, fat egg at home in Game 7 with all of the momentum on the planet on their side after that amazing Game 6 win? Right? They shot 39% from the floor, 21% from the outside with 15 turnovers on their home court in Game 7 against the 8 seed that they had manhandled in Games 4 and 5. Choke. look, any of these will fit the bill. I would prefer to just give it to the Celtics, right? These are not the Celtics that like I could or like you could root for Larry Bird. Look, it's not that I hate Jason Tatum. I actually kind of like Jaylen Brown. I just hate Boston sports. Okay, all of it, all of it. Obviously, the Red Sox. Obviously, the Patriots, the Bruins, the Celtics, Harvard, MIT, UMass, Boston College, all of them. I don't care. Anything coming out of there, Ugats. I got nothing for you. Get out of my face. All right. Let's hop over here. You guys are going at it over here. Boston wasn't beating Denver either, says Califoot. I agree. Where did we leave off at here? Was all the congratulations for Dave. Where we at? Keenan, Pam said the Heat was just toying with us. She said they'll get swept this round. Sweep might be a little strong. I could see gentlemen sweep. Grady's going to give you his take here in just a few. Let's see. Joker takes this. It's already done. Yeah, I tend to agree. English in the room. Califoot, Judge sucks. No, Judge does not suck. Okay. You say he sucks because you hate him. There's my mother in the room with the thumbs up. How you doing, Mom? Over on Facebook. Man City tossed the Bruins in there too. Yeah, absolutely. All of them. All of them. And Mike English tells us he stopped eating Boston baked beans. Nice. All right. So, I've got one more thing I want to talk about before I get to the NBA. But, Grady, do you want to come in for this or do you want to wait? You want to come in. All right. So, let's welcome aboard my oldest, who just turned 16 this past Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
There he is in all his glory with that freaking head of his. Graydon, I don't know if you have YouTube open somewhere as well. If you do, you're going to need to mute that or close it so that you're only in the StreamYard thing.
I know. I don't.
Okay. I'm getting a little bit of echo there, so we'll just keep an eye on it.
All
right, bud. So you wanted to come in for this, but now you're going to have to deal with my rant here. I've not given these folks a good rant in a little bit. I was fully expecting to rant about the Yankees at some point because up until a few weeks ago, they've been playing really, really – they hadn't been playing good ball.
No.
And now they're playing better ball, and we're 11 games over 500, and I can't complain about that. So, however, and I could have named this boner of the week too, but I figured to just call it something else. Listen, I am fully aware that officiating has been poor pretty much across the board in your major sports, okay? The NHL, it seems to be a little bit less of an issue, but Graydon, there is some sort of echo going on that I can't stand. I'm getting a lot of it here. Mute that for now. When you got something to say, then we'll open it back up. Again, the NHL seemed to be less of an issue, but some of you might not like what I've got to say here, and well, unfortunately, that's just going to be tough shit. For all of you who watch sports, and guys in the room here, guys and girls, whoever's watching, if you think I'm talking to you, then you're probably right. I don't think there's anyone here that I'm seeing that would know. Greg, don't hit me up in this private chat, you nutcase. Sometimes that's where idiots, like random bots or whatever, come in. So, look, like I said, if you think I'm talking about you, you're probably right. All of you, any of you who watch sports, any sports, and all you do is constantly bitch about the officiating, whether it's in text messages, whether it's in, constant Facebook posts or Twitter or Instagram or wherever. All of them, all of the folks that do that, you can all kiss my whole ass. The whole thing, right? And I am not a slim person, all right? I'm uniquely shaped for it to take a while for you to kiss my whole ass. And you can have at the gooch while you're at it, That's where we're going with this. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Grady, I see your face. And so does everyone else. You know when you get to complain about refs costing you a game? Does everybody understand when you're allowed to do that? Okay? When you play a perfect game and you don't put it in their hands. Okay? That's when you can make these complaints. And this is a problem. It's been a problem for forever. And I'll tell you what, right after the Super Bowl, I went at a lot of our fellow Eagle fans because that was all over the place. Everyone and their grandmother complaining about the holding call on Bradbury. Oh, the refs cost us that game. No, the refs did not cost us that game. Was it a ticky-tack call? Yeah, it was. It was a ticky-tack call. But did Bradbury admit that he held him? Sure did. Was it an actual hold by letter of the law? Sure was. Right? That's not why the Eagles lost that game. You want to look at why we lost that game? That falls almost entirely on the shoulders of a defense that couldn't figure out a damn thing in the second half of that game. The Chiefs' second half possessions, and Grady's sick and tired of hearing me say it, Chiefs had 4 second half possessions. Touchdown, 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 game-winning field goal. Gannon had no answer for anything that Reed and Bieniemy threw at us. That freaking holding penalty, is it part of the reason? Sure. But there's a whole list of shit that comes before that. And defense is at the top of it. The Jalen fumble didn't help. That holding call is not, it's just not it. Okay? It's just not.
I think I fixed the echo. Is it better?
I was only getting it when I started. I don't hear it now, though. So, yeah.
Okay.
Should be
okay.
good. What were you doing?
Yeah, the Jalen fumble, that we wouldn't have lost the game if the defense had showed up. So
the defense didn't show up.
We were up 10 at half after the fumble.
After the fumble.
Yep.
Enough.
We win that game if we even get one stop.
Keenan Harmon says I'm embarrassing you because I told the whole world to kiss my whole ass and the goose.
No, he's done worse in public places. So.
Oh, come on. That's not, well, maybe. I don't know.
You can't tell me I'm wrong.
What? So I ring a cowbell every so enough out of you. That's it. All right, now flash forward, okay, to this Celtics Heat series. Look, the Heat won. I'm happy for the friends of ours that are Heat fans. But oh my God, you Heat fans, when that series was falling apart. The team was a disaster for the better part of 3 games. Okay? Now they closed well down the stretch in game 6. They just didn't officially close the thing, right? They didn't the last 3 seconds killed them. The last 5 minutes, the 4 minutes and 57 seconds prior to those 3 seconds, the Heat played well. But for the 2 games plus everything before that point, the Celtics were running through them. What, Graydon, whatever that is, stop it now.
I did.
What was that?
My phone was ringing.
Okay. Silent on the phone.
It is. I don't know what.
No, it's not. It's on vibrate. So if you're going to have it sitting anywhere near that, yeah, I need you to put it on silent. Okay. Can't have that going on. Graydon. Okay. I'm going to mute you until you figure it out. Right?
It's done. It's done.
Okay. Thank you. Your best player, Jimmy Butler, was averaging 19 points a game, games 4 through 6. This is your best player. Okay. You're getting muted until you're muted for now. Your big man, Bam Adebayo, was getting exposed for the role player that he really, truly is. Okay. I don't really think he's a number 2 option. I think Grady agrees with me on that. Your team overall couldn't hit water if it fell out of a friggin' boat, much less make a shot. And you were turning the ball over at what I like to call an Olympic caliber rate, leading to a ton of Celtics points. Yet, what was up and down all of social media? And I quote, the NBA is trying to give this series to Boston because that's what they want. This is the worst officiating in the history of everything. Here, Grady, I'll let you back in if you've got that taken care of. And then there's my favorite. See what you think about this one, Grady. The attempt at a preemptive excuse by whining about Scott Foster some 8-9 hours before the game even tipped off. And I quote again, we're 2-13 in the last 15 where he's been a ref. Valid. Except that in those 13 losses, you scored less than 105 points 9 times. In the other 4, you gave up 111, 116, 116, and 120. Is this really Scott Foster's fault, or did you just play like shit? Up and down, all over the place. Not solely trying to pick on the Heat fans, okay? They're just the ones that are most fresh in my, because it just happened, right? This issue is everywhere. It's football. We talked about our Eagle fan brethren, right? Not just them, Bengal fans. How about the Bengal
really
fans?
Bad.
Weren't they bad? How about the Bengal fans when they lost to the Chiefs?
When they lost to the Rams too.
How about when they lost to the Chiefs? I'm talking about more recent. The Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
All over the place.
My
Crying
entire
about
school.
how the refs, right? All at work. Oh, the refs. No, not the refs. Burrow got sacked 5 fucking times in that game. That goes on your offensive line.
Yeah.
Burrow had an intentional grounding in that game, and that was a legit call. That's on him and the offensive line. The idiot hitting Mahomes out of bounds, also a legit call, and a massive dipshit play. Yet all you hear about is the refs. No, you played a bad game. You were not a good team that night. Kansas City beat you. That's what happened.
Like, yeah, there's some missed calls, but if you you can't blame it on missed calls.
Not when you play that poorly. When you're throwing interceptions around, you're getting dumped 5 times, intentional grounding, your idiot linebacker or lineman, whoever the frig he was, knocks Mahomes out of bounds 3 yards after he's already out. Dude, you don't get to blame refs. All of you, that all you do is bitch and moan about these fucking refs. I've had enough. And I'm going to attack you folks every time you do it. Until somebody plays a perfect game where they take the decision out of the ref's hands and then the ref screws them, then I'm on your side. But until that point, I am going to make it my freaking part-time job to search up and down every fucking feed I can find to find some fool making these excuses when their team just flat played like shit.
Sorry, Braden.
Go ahead, Graydon. What do you got? What do you got, Graydon? Anything?
About refs. The Bengals line, I believe it was a linebacker, Joseph Osai, who did that.
Osai, that's his name.
That was his name. And Burrow threw 2 or 3 interceptions that game, if I'm correct. So when your quarterback plays like crap, I'm sorry, but you can't blame it on the refs when you have 2 to 3 interceptions.
How do you blame the refs when you play that poorly at the quarterback position with that wide receiver core?
Yeah.
Chase, Higgins, and Boyd are probably the best trio in the league.
T. Higgins would be a wide receiver 1 on most teams.
Everybody always says that. I don't know.
He would. He's 6'5", plays like that, moves like that. Tyler Boyd's a wide receiver 2 on most teams.
I think Boyd is a legit 2 on anybody's team. It's tough to be the 1. You know, there's been other guys who've been really, really strong number 2s, and everybody's, he'd be a great 1, and it just doesn't always pan out that way. Not saying it wouldn't for Higgins. Just saying it doesn't always work out like that.
Yeah.
Mike English. The refs did not cost us the Super Bowl. Lots of other BS there. Lou Mancini, nail on the head, my brother. That bitching leads to absurd rule changes, which in my opinion impacts the integrity of the game. Thank you. That's why I get so pissed off about it. Russ Taylor, I wasn't complaining about the hold. I was complaining about them using an experimental turf on their biggest stage. That is what the XFL/USFL is for. I'm with you there. I am definitely with you there. But again, the defense, dude. The defense is the number one reason we lost the game.
Letting it on the turf is kind of crazy, though.
Well, I mean, it kind of was a thing, but I mean, if it was going to hurt us, it should have hurt Kansas City too. There's a whole rabbit hole you can go down with that I am not going to do here. So here's everybody laughing when I was getting frustrated with you with the phone. Gilmore turning into a Quimby.
Yeah.
Russ Taylor, if he was turning into a Quimby, there would be stripper poles, and I would be making it rain.
All right.
Keenan says, a cultured Quimby.
Oh, no.
Yo, Q, and Quimby he says he purposely doesn't watch. It doesn't because he doesn't want to critique me too much, which is fine. But I may have to tell him, where are we at here? About 35 to 38 minutes in. He needs to get in here and say, David Connett, hey, you know what? You know what sucks? The refs, they're terrible. Dude, I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying you can't blame them if your team plays like shit. Right? And I'll tell you something else, Dave. It's not even the San Francisco fans now. It's still the players on that team that are bitching. You only won because it was 10 versus 11. You don't get to use that when you had only 10 because the team you were playing against, Philly, smashed your quarterback. You want to blame someone for that 10 versus 11? Go blame your head coach.
Go blame your 3 other quarterbacks who went down.
No, not 3. Which, by the way, back to Lou Mancini's point, a rule change has been put back into place. They're allowed to carry 3. Well, they're allowed to have an emergency quarterback. He can only play if the first 2 are actually hurt, which is a good rule to have. It should have never gone away. There should have always been the emergency quarterback. That much I will say. Because what you end up with, that was bad football, okay? I mean, the Eagles basically just took their foot off the gas. You saw the offense was just kind of, let's just get this over with. They weren't trying to score a whole lot of points in that game. They knew the 49ers couldn't do anything. But enough with the 40 whiners. Whether it's the players or some of these fans, I'm looking forward to that game at the beginning of December. You're going to come into Philly and you get your ass kicked. That's what's going to happen. Again. Right. Brock Purdy. And Dave actually agrees with me on the Brock Purdy thing. Great story last year. Don't get me wrong. But to me, that's really all it was.
Holy crap. So overrated. He has 5 good games with the best offense in football. And then people are crowding like Tom Brady.
Pump the brakes.
Second best offense in football.
Pump the brakes there, kid.
There we go. Fixed it. Probably the most versatile offense in football. You have Christian McCaffrey who can play receiver, but he's a running back.
Here's the thing with Purdy, dude. He got away with a lot of bad throws because the skill position guys are so good. You can't – that's going to be a very hard thing to replicate. So he's going to have to get a whole lot better. And the problem is, from everything I've seen, he's still kind of in a whole apparatus on his arm. So the time that he's going to have to work on and correct that – it's just not going to be there. They may end up opening the season with Trey Lance under center.
I saw it about a week or 2 ago. He is back to practicing throwing, so his arm, he can use his arm again. But he can throw. Yeah. He's throwing.
Oh, good for him. My mother. I'm glad you said it. They lost it themselves. Absolutely. David Connett says he blames the O-line. With you. I would blame the coach first for the poor scheme, but I'm with you with the O-line. David Califoot, we want Hopkins. No, we do not want Hopkins. Okay? No, we don't. We do not want Hopkins. There's no need for Hopkins. Absolutely no need for a 31-year-old who's looking for his last big payday. Okay? We have just roughly $13 million in cap space, and there is no need for him. Now, if you'd like to upgrade the slot receiver position from Quez Watkins to someone else, the number 3 option, I'm with you there. But Hopkins is not the answer. There's only one football to go around, guys. You have to understand that. Okay? AJ's got to get his. Smith has got to get his. Goddard's got to get his. The backfield is going to play a big role on swing passes and bubble screens and all that, and screen passes, straight up screens. There's only one ball to go around. You can't add Hopkins to that mix. Not to mention, he has got a reputation for not being the best locker room / clubhouse guy. Yeah. And our offense, really the whole team, because of the leadership on that team, now you can make a case that because of the leadership, they'd be able to keep him in check. I would rather not flirt with fire. The chemistry on the offense is outstanding. The respect and leadership and the way these guys gel together all the way around, offense and defense, is outstanding. Bringing in Hopkins, first of all, doesn't make fiscal sense. Second of all, I don't want to upset the apple cart, okay? There's absolutely no need for that guy. There's just not.
Like, this isn't Madden. You can't just turn off a salary cap and put another all-star, like, super incredible receiver in, and he'll just mesh perfectly. You can't do that.
Yeah, this has been a thing up and down the Facebook groups and stuff, and all over Twitter and stuff too. The Eagles need to go get Hopkins. No, they do not need to go get Hopkins. Anyone who's, I mean, I guess the only situation where I could see even a thought about it is to block a Dallas or New York Giants from getting him.
Yeah. That's...
Now, you Bengal fans out there, and we do have friends here in Cincinnati who may or may not hear this or be listening, watching right now. If Kansas City goes and gets him, that's going to be a freaking problem.
Or Buffalo.
Buffalo, dude, I get it. You know, Gabe Davis is wildly inconsistent.
Yes.
Buffalo needs a running back. They need to get some balance in that offense before they absolutely destroy any chance Josh Allen has at having a decent career.
One of my predictions for draft night was that they would trade up and draft Bijan Robinson, finally take some of the load off of Josh Allen. But you
fucking guys in the Bijan Robinson. Everybody had Bijan Robinson going everywhere. I'm glad he's in there. They're going to stink. They're still going to stink.
Who's going to stink?
Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, Atlanta. Well, I don't know why they took him. You need more than a running back.
They needed to make Grady. This is a team that is they stink. They need to make a splash. They have to make a splash. So where they really screwed up was giving Jesse Bates $16 million a year.
I don't know why they did that.
That was twice, almost twice, I think, the next highest free agent safety contract. And I'm sorry, but Bates wasn't all that great here in Cincinnati. It wasn't terrible, but it certainly wasn't worth $16 million. I get it. Atlanta had to make a splash on the defensive side. That was not the way to do it.
This year, he was crazy inconsistent. Last year, people were –
that's the same guy.
Last year, he was getting all the contract talks because he was playing really well last year. Not this year. He sucked for a better part of the season. I don't know if that's because of how little help he had in that secondary with all of their corners just passing away. But
hang on, Grady. California. Hey, Gilmore, before I tap out, great show. How do I get a Green Legion onesie? First of all, Dave, congratulations to you again. Thank you for the for the comment. And Green Legion onesie, we'd have to work on that. But I think it's worth working on.
Sounds horrifying.
Let's try to figure that out as we move forward and see if we can't get that taken care of. Hit me up on the side. Let me know the due date. The estimated the ETA for baby Califoot. When you get a chance, whether it's here or you can Facebook, Twitter, anywhere. You can hit me up there, but let me know what the due date is, and we'll see if we can't figure out a way to get you a Green Legion onesie. That'd be pretty cool. All right, Graydon. Oh, we got a few more. Mike English, 99 days till Thursday night kickoff, 102 till we play the Massholes. For all of you who are looking for a Green Legion trip, New England is not going to be on the schedule for the Green Legion this year. The ticket prices for that game are apparently just more than Quimby really wants to deal with.
Because Brady.
Well, yes, it's because it's Tom Brady Love Fest night, which, by the way, I don't know why the hell they chose this game to do that. Why do it against some team that's not Indianapolis, somebody on your schedule where you're at home and they're not good. Why do you do it when Philly's coming in? We are significantly better than the Patriots at every fucking position. Mm-hmm. We are going to go in there and beat the snot out of that team on Tom Brady Love Fest night, which is going to be glorious for all of us. I loved the comment on Twitter a few weeks ago about Nick Foles going there.
Oh, please.
Oh, please, someone get Nick Foles there.
Get him out there.
That's worth the price of admission right there. But like Quimby talked about the last couple of weeks on Green Legion Radio when he's been going over the invasion packages, I've been to Foxborough, not the new stadium. I was at the old one, but it's still the same type of setup traffic-wise. There is one way in and one way out. I don't know if any of you a few weeks ago saw the videos of when Taylor Swift was there. It was taking people 3 to 4 hours to get there because of that traffic pattern that they have up there. It's horrific. So Boston's a pain in the neck to begin with. All right. And then having to deal with getting in and out of there on a weekend where the Red Sox are also home. And Tom Brady Love Fest night. Look, if the ticket price is being jacked up like that, it's like Quimby said, he can get you to LA from Philly. Probably a much more enjoyable trip. The weather is going to be better, although fall time in New England's pretty nice. And I don't blame him. The juice ain't worth the squeeze on that one. What else do we got here? Mike English. No Hopkins. Let him go to New York or Dallas. Danny Dimes will miss him, and so will Dak. Russ Taylor, Brady Fest 2023. Do it against a team that he had 1 million wins against. Yeah, I don't get why you would do it against Philly. Here we go. English. They should have Eli in the box as well. Russ Taylor, honorary captain for the Eagles, will be Nick Foles. Big Dick Nick in the house. I hope all of those things happen. On top of a 40-10 victory. Let's crush that team. All right, Graydon. Without further ado, the real reason why you are on here. So, yes. Grady, 16 years old this past Saturday.
Yep, shattered my phone. Awesome birthday.
Yeah, at the end of his buddies were all starting to get ready to go and stuff. They're outside running around. He comes in with a broken phone on a holiday weekend.
Yeah,
he just got it back today.
We were playing hide and seek, and I was running on the concrete, and it fell out of my pocket and just slid across. I don't want to talk about it.
Traumatic experience.
But yeah.
So I like to bring you in when we talk NBA. All right. Coaching and GM changes. You saw today, what's his nuts from
Warriors,
from the Warriors step down. Yeah. Okay. And you also saw the Knicks are not going to retain their GM. Do you think there is a possibility there?
I really don't think it's gonna. No.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything you heard on Sports Talk. I wanted to get your take on it. It's interesting that those two things have just happened. But I don't. A lot of the talk. What is that guy's name? I can't. Every time I try to think of his name, I can't
remember. I'm normally good.
But he's the architect of that dynasty out there.
Yeah, he drafted Steph. He drafted Clay. He drafted Draymond.
He's also the one that's able to keep Draymond under control.
Yeah, him and Draymond had an excellent relationship. I know that much.
When Draymond's losing his mind and stuff, Steve Kerr couldn't calm him down. Steph and Clay couldn't calm him down. This dude gets up out of his seat, goes down, talks to Draymond, gets him under control. So that's a loss. I think Draymond's time in Golden State is about done.
Well, yeah, he's an old guy on a big old contract, and I think it's time for you to get him out of there. Give him to a team who needs a power forward who's going to play some defense and who can play make at that position. Give him. I don't know what team needs that, but send him there. You got to get rid of him. He's like 32 or however old now.
Yep.
They're all getting up there. Curry's old, Clay's old. He's punching Jordan Poole in the face in the offseason.
I think he's doing more and more to try to keep himself, relevant and in the spotlight so that his podcast continues to have a large audience. That's what I think is going on. I think he's doing that as the image, his bad boy image, and it's a joke now, right?
You're not a bad boy, you're an asshole.
You're an asshole. Thank you. Perfect. There you go. You heard it here first, guys. Grady Gilmore, you're not a bad boy, you're an asshole. Perfect. All right. Let's get off of that now.
Yeah.
Coaching, Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse to Philly. You guys got a great coach. Better than Glenn. I'm not going to say his name.
Finally, you got it.
But he's gone, and you should be grateful for that. That man, probably the most overrated coach in likely NBA history. You have incredible, maybe not. Well, my NBA history from what I've seen. Guy.
Okay, fair enough.
Where has he been? He was in Orlando, right?
He was in Boston. He won his title in Boston.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
I forget. I think it was him in Orlando in the early 2000s when T-Mac was there. I believe so. I don't know for sure. He was also in LA at some point, but that guy sucks. So now you got Nick Nurse, who's a better motivator, who I think will keep Joel on track more, who will get his players more motivated. He'll coach James Harden. He made Kyle Lowry an excellent playmaker. Well, Lowry already was that, and Harden already is that. But if you can bring Harden back, and then Nurse is going to help.
Yeah, I think it's an upgrade for sure.
Oh, a major upgrade.
Captain Demps, Bob Myers.
That's
the GM. Thank you, Captain Demps.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated. Keenan Harmon, poor kid. When I was 16, the phone was bolted to the kitchen wall. Hey, you and me both, brother. You and me both. David Cotton agrees. And it always worked. All right. So, one last thing before we get to the finals. LeBitch has a quote recently, and we can all hate him, but I don't think he's wrong with this. And it pains me to say that because I can't stand him. You know how much I don't like LeBron James.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's wrong here. His quote, have you seen this?
No, I've been off the internet.
I'm still better than 90 to 95% of the league.
I did see that. He's 100% correct. Name me 10 guys better than LeBron James right now.
It's not just 10. No, people don't understand. When you say 90%, so I did the math. So you got roughly 450 dudes in the NBA, roughly, right? Roughly.
Yeah,
not going to get the exact number. Not looking for the exact number.
Ballpark.
Yeah, roughly 450 guys. Times. No. Point. So 10% of 450 is 45, right?
You can't.
5%. Well, obviously, what I was looking for was the 5%. 22 and a half. So 22 to 23 guys. You trying to tell me there's 22 to 23 guys better than LeBron James right now?
I can name maybe 5.
So let's think about it. Giannis. Jokic.
Embiid.
Luka,
sometimes.
Luka. Embiid. Curry. Okay. 5.
KD. Did we say Tatum yet?
I don't think KD's there.
All right.
I don't think
we'll put Tatum. I think that might be end of the list. That's all the guys. That's it.
So I can't stand LeBron James, but he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. That's for sure.
Even how talented.
Dave Cotton says James Harden is an overrated traveling joke.
That's fair, but it's overrated. He won the assist title and propelled you guys to a 3 seed. So.
No, David Cotton is not a Sixers fan.
I was not aware of that.
David, that's Dave that came here last time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where does his what?
He doesn't.
He's just okay. Gotcha.
He's a lot like me. Our glory days were, watching 90s, 80s and 90s basketball.
Because we're talking about front office and coaching and stuff, can I just say one thing about the Knicks?
Yes.
Get
Tibbs
Tom
has to go.
Thibodeau away from my basketball team. I don't want him in. He's going to ruin our young guys. You see what he's doing to RJ. You see what he did to Frank. Get him away.
Yeah, it's time for him to go. He got exposed badly in that Heat series as a, and look, like I said, you can make an argument that Spoles is the best coach in the league.
Oh,
it's not really an insult to say that you got out coached by Eric Spoelstra.
No,
but he got that was night and day. Like, it was a drastic difference.
You coach a style of basketball that worked 20 years ago. Change, Thibodeau. Either you change or you get out of my city. I understand we're not going to fire him because the last 2 of the 3 seasons we've made the playoffs. And
for God's sake, shave your head.
There's nothing left. Tom, let it go.
Cut off the Homer Simpson crap off the top of your head and let it go. Right?
And stop falling in love
Frozen
with
has a
Julius.
song for you. Let it go.
Stop falling in love with Julius. You're playing that man way too much, even when he sucks. He is shooting 2 for 14, and you play him 37 minutes a game. Sit him down. Put Obi in. Obi brings energy.
So, if you're kicking Tibbs out of town, you're telling him to take
Julius with you. Go rot in Cancun. I do not care. And trade Julius for a bag of peanuts.
Trade Julius for a bag of peanuts.
Give me a semi-decent young guy for him. Give me Walker Kessler. I'll trade Julius Randle in a first for Walker Kessler.
Walker Kessler
was a top 3 Rookie of the Year finalist. He's in Utah with Laurie. But yeah, just get them both off my basketball team. You can take Quickly with you sometimes. That team that Cavs series, we looked so very wonderful. And then the wheels came off the bus so fast. You get out coached by a guy. Your adjustment when you're down 2-0, play your backcourt 48 minutes. Great adjustment. Great job, Tom. We're so proud.
You are very hateful.
I hate Tom Thibodeau and I hate Max Strus. Don't know why. All right, finals time.
Yeah, why not? So we've got the Heat versus Denver, which I'm going to go ahead and stick in your face now because this is the series I wanted. My son is 16 years old. He wanted to see Lakers Celtics, I think at least in part for the nostalgia of it. Because he is a big NBA fan, and that you can't write the history of the NBA without talking Lakers Celtics. But we didn't get that. We got Denver and Miami, which I am thrilled about because
viewership
no matter who wins, I'm fine with it because I'm fine. I like Jokic's game, and it'd be great for him to get a ring. I am rooting for Miami for multiple reasons. One, I like Jimmy Butler. And I don't know how many more chances he's going to have left. I think Joker's obviously got more opportunities. And 1A would be for Lou and Ashley down there in Miami just to see them get to celebrate a championship. So that's where I'm at with it. Grady, take it away.
All right, so you have Nuggets versus Heat. You have Jokic, Jamal Murray, and probably the most elite group of role players in the NBA versus the Heat and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo sometimes. And then another elite group of role players. 3 or 4 of those guys undrafted. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Caleb Martin. Jokic averaging a triple-double at
what are those numbers? What are his playoff numbers? Give me those numbers.
Got him right here.
Averaging a triple-double for the playoffs is freaking insane.
Do you want Jimmy or Jokic first?
Give me Jokic first because the triple-double, averaging a triple-double, it's one thing to average it for a stretch during the season or, averaging it for a whole regular season is obviously impressive.
Shut out the rest.
But you're going to also play a lot of, you have dips in your season where you're playing a lot of shit teams.
You play Charlotte.
This guy's doing it again. Great.
Sorry, I'm interrupting.
When other people are speaking. In the playoffs, you're playing nothing but the best. And yet here you are still averaging a triple-double. So let me hear it, Jokic first.
Nikola Jokic averaging 29.9 points, basically 30, 13 rebounds, 10 assists on 53, 47, 78 shooting.
That is nuts.
And
the
he
guy's
is about
averaging 30, 13, and 10 on 53% shooting. What from downtown?
47.
47 from the outside and 78 at the charity stripe. The 78 at the charity stripe is a little surprising. I would have thought it would have been higher. But
yeah.
I mean, it's almost 80%. It's not like obviously still good.
Mm-hmm.
So he's 6'10", right? And like 200 and how much?
I don't have.
That's a big dude.
He's a big old fat Serbian.
This isn't a skinny guy.
No.
That's a big son bitch.
He likes his cows and his horses. He's just a fat man who likes horses and can play basketball.
Here we go. Fito in the room.
Oh, no.
Sorry I'm late to the show, but I'd like to contribute to the show by saying two things.
Oh, God.
Go Niners. There's this meme I'm going to send you here in a minute, Fito. It's a clip from the Legend of Zelda video game where they give Link a sword and it says, "It's dangerous to go alone. Take this." What else do we miss here? Captain Dent, stop it. Pat Riley has been coaching that team for the past 15 Where is Lou? Lou Dominguez in the room. Thank you, brother. Just jumped on. We are on Cloud 9 right now. God, I can't even imagine what South Florida is like right now. Partying on South Beach or Lauderdale Beach right now has got to be absolutely nuts from a sports perspective. I mean, especially considering you get invaded, right, by all of these snowbirds every year down there, right? So for the folks that don't know, the people, Philadelphia, New York, Boston, when it gets cold up on the Atlantic coast, they all go down to Florida, and most of the folks from those areas end up in Miami, Lauderdale, that area. So for Lou to be down, so you got a ton of probably just built-in Celtics bullshit down there, and Celtics, Bruins, and here you guys are just beating them like a rented mule, wrecking their whole spring. I am here for it, brother. I love it. It's fantastic. I'm actually rooting for you in both series. Not a big gambling guy, so I'm not going to do that, but I am rooting for you in both series. I did have one closing thing on all the folks that complain about officiating.
Here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
There it is again.
All right. Off my soapbox there. Sorry, Grady. All right. So we got Joker, who a lot of people feel should have won his third straight MVP.
Me included sometimes.
And has now rolled into the playoffs, improving his regular season numbers against the Western Conference's toughest competition, or at least the teams playing the best ball at that time, by averaging 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists on 53% overall, 47 from the outside, and 78 from the charity stripe.
Yeah.
How about Murray? You have Murray?
Yes, I do. His co-star Jamal Murray drafted him regular season. He's kind of just Jokic's second fiddle, and he still is. But in the playoffs, that man woke up.
Yep.
This playoffs, he is averaging 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists on almost 50, 40, 90 shooting, on 48 from the field, 40 from 3, and 92% from the line.
So he's just deadly. So this is a guy who went. So keep in mind that Jokic had to go up against AD with the Lakers, right? AD, well respected as one of, if not the best defensive big man in the game.
Yeah.
And Jokic ate his lunch. The Lakers decided to double down and stop that large maniac from killing them. And what happened then?
Jamal Murray happened.
Not
just Jamal Murray, the rest of that incredible supporting cast. Aaron Gordon, KCP, all the what is his name? MPJ, Michael Porter Jr., They all just showed out. They were remarkable that whole series. They've been remarkable the whole playoffs. And I think they're going to be remarkable and kill the Heat in 6.
Lou Dominguez. Lots of Bostonians, New Yorkers, and Canadians down here. We've sent their teams all home for the summer.
Don't remind me.
That is beautiful. Okay. So, obviously, the Heat have their hands full, right? Now, I would expect Spoelstra to have some sort of game plan.
Is it enough?
But it's hard for me to imagine a Bam Adebayo being all that effective against Joker when AD couldn't do it.
I mean, the only thing
we all saw what happened when they doubled down on Joker. You can't leave Murray out there.
Only adjustment I can think of is you put Jimmy Butler on Jamal Murray, and then you double Jokic. That's the only way I can think of it. But then you have weird mismatches. There's really no way.
Somebody's going to be open. And Joker, unfortunately, has a really, really strong way of finding the open man.
I don't know how.
So I don't, so now let's flip it around. Now give me Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, who didn't
Jimmy
come out in this series. These are his numbers as of a week ago. I don't have them updated.
Yeah, he had a tough time the last, games 4, 5,
and energy.
6.
He's gassed.
4, 5, and 6. He was not really playoff Jimmy. And I was Lou. I know you're in the room, bud. I was prepared to go ham on Jimmy had they blown that series. I was not going to hear any more about playoff Jimmy had Miami lost Game 7. But I know you said you just joined, so you missed the opening. We're all very happy that didn't happen. Well, all of us except for Grady here.
Yeah, Jason Tatum I love him. And I have a friend who's a Celtics
Jimmy
fan.
Butler's numbers as of last week.
As of last week, playoff Jimmy, before whatever happened, he is averaging 29.9 points as well, 7 boards. That's 6 assists on 50 from the field, 35 from 3, and 80 from the line.
So not much different from Joker as far as a points and shooting percentage.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would expect the rebounds to be heavily in favor of Joker just based on his size. Mm-hmm. And Joker's, he keeps going like this. He's going to go down as the best passing big man in the history of the league. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't shock me either. Now, we talked about how Miami is going to have a very hard time defending that Denver offense. Who's stopping Jimmy? Right.
I don't know if there's well, I know what they're going to do. Mike Malone is going to go out there and he's going to put Aaron Gordon on him and then have switches from him and Michael Porter Jr. because that's all you really can do. Switch, double when it has to be.
Yep.
But these undrafted guys in Miami, they're not going to keep doing this forever. They can't.
I really felt that way after they beat the Knicks. Okay. Again, they clubbed the baby seals. We all get it. I did not think they were going to do that to Boston, and they did. I didn't think they would do it to Milwaukee, and they did.
No.
In Milwaukee, they fucking manhandled. Gentlemen sweep.
And it's not Jimmy's overall stats. Of course, they're impressive, but you have to look at the moments he's had. That game winner against Milwaukee, him going out for 25 in the fourth quarter against the Knicks, him playing on a bum ankle against the Knicks and giving us 35.
How about when he made Grant Williams his bitch? Grant decided to get in his face. That didn't work out.
Grant was the only person on that team who showed any heart.
And I get it, and I respect him for it, but you went and called out the wrong guy. All right.
He still played well. He scored about 5 buckets on Jimmy.
No, he didn't score him on Jimmy. They ended up having to put Grant Williams on the bench because he was getting abused.
Jimmy was yelling at Coach Missoula.
That guy got in Jimmy's face, and all Jimmy did was smile. And then Jimmy went to work to the point where when Jimmy was coming back up the court, he was yelling at the Celtics bench saying, "He can't guard me. He can't guard me." He's just going like this, almost like Jordan. Don't do it with the whole DNA test bullshit. I don't want to hear it. But it was somewhat that moment. For those of you that don't know, you guys all know there's this whole thing out there. You can go down a rabbit hole about Jimmy Butler is Michael Jordan's illegitimate child. My 16-year-old son here subscribes to that nonsense.
Oh, yeah, I'm a little conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, he's all about it. So, Lou, Actually, I think Lou's probably on your side at this point. He'd like to see Jimmy. He'd like to see Jimmy have that Jordan blood going into these finals here. Because I can tell you what, if the Heat are going to pull a miracle here, and I do believe it would be a miracle for them to win this series, he's going to have to be Jordan-esque in order to do that.
I believe if you average anything less than 35 this series, you're not going to win.
So our good friend Lou. Undrafted guys are going to continue to eat, and they might be joined by Hero.
Tyler Hero has 2 broken fingers, and I don't know if he's going to be recovered in time. Also, statistically this season, you have played way better when he's not on the court. Way better. It's not just the playoffs, too. It's just the regular season.
So has the team really played better, or has it been a really good coaching job by Spoelstra to adjust to not having Hero available? I go with the latter. I go with the latter. Now, the guys have to step up, but that's what Lou is saying here. These undrafted guys have stepped up.
I don't like any of them.
Okay, look. Okay, all right. Look, we're getting off track here, and we do got to kind of get to the end of the line here.
Oh, yeah.
So, as much as Miami doesn't have an answer for Joker, Denver does not have an answer for Jimmy. Now, I'd also they don't. Now, I'd also challenge you to think about Joker's not a great defender.
Nope.
And can Spoelstra design an offense that creates some space for Bam near the basket against a weak defender in Jokic?
No.
Why?
Bam, that series, some of the shots he took, they reminded me so much of Julius Randle. It made me want to throw up.
All right, you got to get off that. Graydon, get off.
I know, but I'm just saying, you're dribbling between your legs. You are a 6'10" man against a 6'8" defender in Al Horford, who you could probably try to go in the post on instead of doing between the legs dribbles and throwing up mid-range jump shots.
Okay, and that's why I'm saying, can Spoelstra create some offensive possessions that create space for Bam to attack the basket? That's what Bam did well against the Knicks. He attacked the basket, like we talk about with RJ. Right? That was what he did well in the playoffs after the first 2 games. He attacked the basket. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Bam succeeded against the Knicks. 1, because we're not that good. 2, because he didn't sit back and just try to shoot. He attacked the basket, which does what? It backs off the defenders. So now if you do pull up, you're pulling up from shorter range, and it's a more clean shot. There's nobody in your face. Can Spoelstra create enough there to create that as some help for you? We all know Jimmy's going to need help. He can't do it alone, right? Another guy that's given the Heat very valuable minutes off the bench, Kyle Lowry. Mm-hmm. Can he find a stroke and get hot in the second half when guys need a breather?
I mean, I don't know. He's wow.
And then there's that wild card kid, the white kid. What the hell is his name? Duncan Robinson, who I didn't know this has made more threes than anybody in Miami Heat history.
Yeah.
I would have guessed Glenn Rice, but I would have been wrong.
Shooter
Dominguez. I will try to get a DNA swap on Jimmy at Game 3 next week to confirm if he's got the Jordan gene. I tell you what, Lou, if Jimmy comes out and he just – where does the series start? Does it start in Denver? Starts in Denver, doesn't it?
Yeah, Denver's the 1 seed.
Denver's the 1 seed, so it's going to start in Denver. So Miami's just got to get 1 there. They got to get 1 in Denver. They got to get 1 in the free. You can't go down 0-2, right?
No, because if you do that, the series is over.
Right. Then you got to win 4 of the last 5 games, and you're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. So you got to get 1 of the first 2, and then ideally you take both at home. I'll put it this way. I think I want to get predictions here, and then we're going to wrap it up.
All right.
So I want to let you go first, and you tell me what you think is going to happen.
You want to go game by
tomorrow
game?
Night.
You want to go game by game because I have game by game predictions.
I don't know if you want to. Go ahead.
Okay. Game 1 tomorrow, I think the Heat are going to come out and beat the Nuggets. Shock them at home. Game 1. Off of like a Jimmy immaculate godsend Michael Jordan. I don't know what's going on. 40 points. Jimmy things. And then
Right.
Game 2, the Nuggets are going to beat them. Game 3, the Nuggets are going to beat them. Game 4, the Nuggets are going to beat them. And then the Heat are going to take 1 to avoid getting gentlemen swept, and then the Nuggets are going to finish the job. Nikola Jokic Finals MVP, Nuggets in 6.
Nuggets in 6. I think that's probably the most likely outcome.
Yeah.
Is the Nuggets take the series in probably 6 games,
5 or
and
6.
with Jokic being the MVP. But it's not like there's no path for Miami here.
Mhm.
Okay, if Jimmy can cook and they can get enough out of the role players, the Heat can do this. Right? They did beat Milwaukee, who was the 1 seed in the East. They did beat the Celtics, who were the 2 seed in the East.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is not like uncharted territory for them. Now, in order for that to happen, they've got to take at least 1 of the first 2 in Denver, right? And then you've got through the first 4, you can't be worse than 2-2, and then it's a best of 3. Now, 2 of those are going to be on the road. It's going to be very, very difficult for them, which is why I lean your way. Unfortunately, now I am rooting for Miami. Ahead of Denver. I just think the combination of Jokic and Murray is just a little too much to overcome for Jimmy and some role players. That
Jimmy
would be
doesn't
where
have
I
an
go.
answer.
Well, Jimmy is the answer.
Jimmy is the answer. I think Spoelstra is facing the toughest coach he's faced in the playoffs. In Mike Malone, I think is his name in Denver. Because
that cat there in Boston did a pretty good job those 3 games.
Joe Mazzulla, yeah, but you can tell he doesn't know what he's doing.
Doesn't know what he's doing. He's a coach of the fucking Boston Celtics. They were the 2nd seed in the East. I think he knows what he's doing, Grady.
His late game play calling is atrocious. You can see that. Just he has Jason Tatum dribbling at the logo when there's 5 seconds left. You don't.
Well, with 5 seconds left, you want the ball in your best player's hands. I don't give a fuck
at the
where
logo though. He has him backed all the way up.
Doesn't matter.
You're putting.
It's got to be in Tatum's hands.
Yeah, but
it's not. Then there's no play drawn up. It's get the ball to Tatum, get the fuck out of his way. That's how that works. 5 seconds left. The ball goes to your best player. Everybody else move. Unless you're trying to set some sort of screen or pick and roll, something. Otherwise, get the hell out of the way. You want to spread out so that the rest of the defense has to spread out with you, and Tatum gets his 1-on-1. That's not a drawn up play. That's just here you go.
Just basketball.
My best. I'm gonna win or lose with my best guy. One more thing. That last play in Game 6, we watched that, right? I mentioned it earlier. The ball came off the rim in the only spot that it could hurt Miami. But all game long, Miami was not boxing out well. They were getting abused on the offensive glass, including on that play. When you go back and watch it, in my opinion, it's Bam Adebayo that is way out of position. Okay? That ball gets into Smart. There's only 3 seconds left. Once the ball gets in, there's no time for another pass. At that point, especially a 6'10" guy should not be trying to jump out at the 3-point line. His job was to fall back and at least tip the rebound or whatever. Instead, what happens? He gets caught kind of halfway between the rim and the free throw line. Yeah. And it almost looked like he froze and didn't know what to do and went out to where the shooter, where Smart was.
Great shot by Smart, by the way.
Oh, great shot. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When that came off his hand, I thought it might go down.
Yeah, that ball was half down.
Was a great shot.
Just let little Derek White.
And that's what I'm saying. If Bam just falls back as a big man, he should have known better. Fall back. Yeah. Right? You're not getting out there. You're not going to alter that shot at that point. And there's no chance of him passing anywhere else. He's taking the shot. It didn't get to Tatum. It didn't get to Brown. It went to Smart. He's taking the shot. There's only 3 seconds left. You, as a big man, have to fall back and protect the glass.
Let the guy whose defensive assignment is to take care of Smart. Take care of Smart.
And if he hits the shot, he hits the fucking shot. But stop any kind of chance from the offensive glass.
Instead, you let that the inbounder just creep down and tap the ball in off the glass. It falls all on Bam Adebayo.
David Conant, Same way as always. Attack Jokic early, force him into foul trouble, and get him off the floor. It's their only hope. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But that's a much easier said than done.
Send Jimmy at him every
with
play.
Jokic. Yep. And Lou Dominguez backs it up. Yes. And major ball denial. Have to make it difficult for him to get the ball. I agree. It's not so much, it's not what you can do when he has the ball. It's what can you do to stop him from getting it. Right. And I agree with both of those guys there, with Dave and Lou. Once he gets it, or when he's on the defensive end, get him into foul trouble. When Denver has the ball, your best option is to try to stop him from even touching the fucking thing.
When Jokic has the ball, you have to assume points are coming out of that possession either way. If it's him, or if he does some crazy wild pass into the corner, that guy is just like, there's at my birthday, we were watching a highlight where he just rifled it from the corner to the other corner on a bounce pass. He'll do that. He'll throw it above his head. He'll throw it between his legs. He'll throw it behind his back. He's gonna find a guy.
Yeah, I know. He's like I said, he keeps going this way. He's going to go down as the best passing big man ever.
Perhaps the best offensive big man.
Ben Holloway, haven't heard from you in quite a while. Not Bam's first time making end-of-game defensive mistake. Elite Eight, Luke May at the buzzer. Nice call, brother. Ben Holloway, UK fan, big Kentucky basketball fan. He worked for me when I was at Mattress Firm years ago.
Oh, okay.
Good young man, except for the whole Kentucky thing. Thanks for jumping in, Ben. Ben, I appreciate it. All right, we've been going at it here for an hour and 20 minutes now. It's time to stop the madness. I'm hungry. You hungry?
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope we've entertained you for the last almost hour and a half. It goes quick.
It really did.
And we take no breaks here on the Unhappy Gilmore Show because, well, I can't play any music without getting dumped off of Facebook. So, for my son Grady, for everyone else on the other side of this door, for Green Legion Radio for the night, this has been the Unhappy Gilmore Show, powered by Green Legion Radio and part of the Green Legion Radio family. We hope we have entertained you for the last almost hour and a half.
Jeez.
We are looking forward to the NBA Finals starting on Thursday. Did not talk NHL Finals. I'm sure we'll get to some of that next week. I'm sure I'll get an earful from Lou Dominguez at some point. Anyways, you guys enjoy your week. We're counting down. By the time we come on again next week, we'll be at 5 weeks away from visiting Philadelphia. Time to start looking at those restaurants to get together at. Just be cheesesteak places, Chickies and Pete's. It's fine. Either way, we will see you there. But until then, have a good week. Enjoy the weather. It is hot and sunny here. We got a garage sale this weekend. Looking forward to that. Grady, thank you very much for your time. We're going to close the show now. Y'all be good. Be safe. Take care. Enjoy the weather. And as always, go Birds!
Have a great night.
All right, kids, we're out of here. I am starving. Y'all have a good week. We'll talk to you soon. Love you.